We've got arguably the best budget rye in the game and its bigger brother, the Old Forester Single Barrel Proof Rye. I am so excited to see how great this pour can be. Welcome back to another episode of Neat Bourbon. My name's Tanner, and today we got a bottle comparison for you guys. We're talking about the Old Forester 100 Proof Rye and its big brother, the Single Barrel Proof Rye, which I am so excited to have. An amazing subscriber out there was able to share a sample with me. So thank you so much for sharing this with me. I have only seen this bottle once in real life. It was in New York City. I think it was for like $400, like $3.99. Obviously didn't buy that because I'm not going to spend $400 on a bottle of bourbon. But anyways, everybody knows how amazing this Old Forester 100 Proof Rye is. You know, you get a lot of like that brown sugar caramel. It drinks very bourbon forward. The rye flavors are there, but they complement it. They kind of take a back seat to like those bourbon flavors. So if you're new to rye, this is definitely a fantastic place to be starting out. You know, Old Forester is a Brown Forman product, so they do heat cycle their warehouses. I think these bottles are around like 4 to 5 years old, but they're heat cycled, so they should taste in that 7 to 8 year age range. The mash bills on these are 65% corn, 20% malted barley, which leaves 15% for corn. For those that are curious, this Single Barrel Proof comes in at 130.1 proof. It's warehouse K, floor 2. So that's awesome. Just want to do a quick comparison to see like, hey, how does 100 proof taste? And is there an appreciable difference for the barrel proof? This 100 proof rye is in that like 30-ish, low $30 price range. And the barrel proof retails for $85. Never seen it for that, but most online retailers I've seen it for recently are in that like $250 price point. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the notes. Yeah, I mean, it's very butterscotchy, you know, caramel forward there on the nose. I am picking up like a little bit of vanilla there. It's like a unique vanilla note that's kind of like characteristic to me for all the Old Forester products. Like I get it heavy in the 1920, which I am picking it up here. Yeah. I mean, that's just great. I mean, it's just everything I think that you want out of a rye. You know, you're getting a lot of like that caramely brown sugar note. The butterscotch that I was picking up on the nose is a lot more caramel brown sugar there on the palate, and then it's kind of like candied spearmint a little bit on like the back end. It's not overly spicy. You like peppery rye spice that you can get. You do get a scotch of it there on the back end, but it's definitely on the more like desserty side of ryes that I've had, which is great. You know, it's not going to scare away any of the bourbon drinkers that are trying to get into rye. So I think that it's overall great, well-rounded rye. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the barrel proof rye. Huh. Yeah, picking up that same little vanilla note. It's coming across a little bit brighter, you know. The rye spices are coming across a little stronger there on the nose. A little more of that like, you know, candied spearmint, like rosemary-ish, you know, scents are coming across. Yeah, it's not like a very robust nose. I mean, for 130 proof, I would consider this to be like a soft nose. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the palate. Cheers. Yeah, man. Everything that the nose was lacking in terms of robustness, the palate definitely picks up, for anything that was lacking there in the nose. Yeah, I mean, you can tell it's the 100 Proof's big brother because everything that I was getting on the 100 Proof is coming over, to the barrel proof. Now you're getting a lot. I'm getting like that vanilla note that I was talking about. That is very strong here, and then it's coming over into very caramelly brown sugar sweetness, and then the rye. Although the rye spice and the rye notes were stronger on the nose here than they were on the 100 Proof, I'd say they still take the back seat to like for this bottle being very sweetness forward. The rye notes are there, like that mint, candied spearmint, a little bit of like that rosemary spice. Yeah. And what I will say though, like the ethanol, like flavor profile, like it doesn't taste like, you can tell that there is ethanol in this, like it is. Like it's not quite as like well-rounded as some of the, I guess if I were to compare this to like the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, which we got poured up over here because I'm not going to miss the opportunity to compare this high proof rye killer to my first time ever having the opportunity to enjoy the Old Forester single barrel proof rye. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say though is like the ethanol-y like flavor is there. It is still flavor punch, but I just want to say like when I'm saying like it's not as well rounded, I am picking up like a scotch of like that ethanol, which it's not off-putting because it's faint. It's kind of coming across as like a spice level, but I think it is still some of the ethanol. And I'm curious, how it compares to the Jack Daniel's. But overall, I just want to like complete the review on this. I do think that this pour is great. I think if you like the Old Forester 100 Proof and you enjoy high proof ryes, I think you're going to really enjoy the Old Forester single barrel proof rye. That said, in terms of like value, I think that this 100 Proof is an amazing value. It feels a lot more well-rounded. And I think that the ethanol coming through on the proof is making the flavors a little more spiky there. So I don't think that this Old Forester rye, the single barrel proof rye, like commands anywhere near that $250 secondary value. I think if you can get this like 100 or less, I think you'd be all right there. It is a very rare bottle, so if you're a hunter and just want to collect them all, go ahead, do your thing. But I think, anything above like that, like a low $100 price point, I think you're kind of going to be reaching a little bit there for me personally. But yeah, let's go ahead, get into the Jack Daniel's and see how it compares. Oh, man. Yeah, there are a lot like darker notes coming across. I mean, you can even kind of see here the Jack Daniel's is a little bit darker there. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get to the palate real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Jack Daniel's is definitely just coming across as more viscous all the way around the palate. I'm not saying the Old Forester was thin, but like this thing is significantly more viscous. It's way more mouth coating. Like right when it hits your lips, it like explodes with flavor. Whereas I feel like the Old Forester, for being such a high proof, where I was talking about that ethanol, makes it a little thin on the palate relative to the Jack Daniel's. This bottle here is relatively findable now for around that $70 price point. I know you can find it online for $70 now. Of course, you have to pay like $20 shipping or whatever. But, still at the like 90-ish, $100 price point, I think that kind of gets you to like the same point as this. And I think the Jack Daniel's is a much better value there. But again, We don't have too many 130 proof ryes on the market to compare these two. I do think the Old Forester is great. I just think that the Jack Daniel's is better. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review today. I hope you're able to learn something between all these ryes. I sure as heck enjoyed making it for you. But if you did, would you go ahead and give me a like? Would you consider subscribing to the channel? And as always, this is Neat Bourbon. My name's Tanner. And pop the bottles and share the pours. And we'll see you in the next one.